Private messaging is supposed to be private, but there seems to be considerable efforts going on in the world to make private messaging not so private. So, as I'm all about self-hosting, let's take some steps to create our own self-hosted chat server. So in this video, we're going to talk about Matrix. There are some others. This is probably one of the better ones. I'm only going to cover creating a text chat server, but if you have the time and inclination, you can do a lot with this system. We're going to be running it in a Docker on Ubuntu Server. Now, I'm going to set this up in a Raspberry Pi. You can technically run the server on a Raspberry Pi without much issue. The problem is, Matrix server, you're saving all of the data, like images and links and videos and all that sort of stuff will be saved. So a Pi is probably not going to cut it. I would suggest if you were going to do this and put it into like production, I would look at using something a little bit beefier with a lot of storage, or spending time to kind of manage the storage load. So Matrix has been around for a while. They've got a lot of clients, as you can see. It can do video, but you need to do there's a lot of work for that. We're just doing the messaging. And as you can see, there are a lot of clients that will work with it. So it's really well supported. And the way it kind of works is that you would have your Matrix server on your system, and then someone would have a client, and they will then connect to your Matrix server. So you can use like an Android phone will connect to your server, and someone else's client is going to, they don't connect direct with each other. They will connect to the server, and the server connects back to them. So that's how the messages come through. You're the central point. So we are now going to go through installing, setting it up, and I am going to use Cloudflare Tunnels. Cloudflare Tunnels allow you to expose the server to the public. Matrix has a thing called federation. Federation is where your server gets federated, connected to a whole other network of other servers. We're not going to do federation because I build this for you and then I just throw it away. But people will need to connect to it. So we'll use Cloudflare Tunnels to make public access for it. You can use Tailscale. If you do have a service that allows port forwarding, you can expose a port and run that locally. All right, let's get into it. Oh, and you could also, if you don't want to go through terminal, you could also have a server running Ubuntu with a desktop version, run Docker desktop, and then run this in a Docker desktop always on. Also very functional and able to be done like that. I'm going to assume you've already got your server, you have flashed your drive, you've installed Ubuntu, and you have logged in using SSH. That is where we're up to at the moment. Like always, we update superuser do apt update and superuser do apt upgrade -y. Always do an update and upgrade. I'll say it every time. I've already installed it, but we'll do it for the video. We're going to install Docker and Docker Compose. So sudo apt install y docker io docker -compose -plugin. As you can see, it's already installed. So now I want to enable it. System control enable -now Docker. So I'm just starting it, making sure it's installed and ready to go. Now I need to make a user. So sudo usermod -a g docker user. Cool. And then I'm just going to log out and then log back in. Nice. Clear. Oh, clear. Now let's make a directory. Make directory -p tilde matrix synapse /data. Lovely. I'm going to cd into matrix. Now I'm going to copy in the file I need to make for the Docker Compose. So you can see Docker Compose version. I'm getting the matrix.org synapse. I'm already going to set this up. I know what I'll set this URL up as, chat at benlab, and this is the tunnel ID. You would do the same. That's now created. Now I want to Docker Compose run. Excellent. So now I need to disable federation. Default, it will federate, it will connect to the whole network. I don't want to do that. So sudo nano, because I want to edit the file, tilde /matrix synapse synapse data home server.yaml. So that's the port I want. That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to, in here, going to enable _registration. true, so people can register. You know what? Let's lock it down. So the only time you can make a user is you actually have to make the user. So I'm changing that from enable registration true with anyone to no. Enter an X. Okay. Docker compose down, closing it all down. Great. Docker compose up. D. And let's have a look at it. Hopefully, yeah, okay. We like this. So it's going to take a little bit to set up and run. So just give it a few minutes. All right. I'm just going to hit Control C. Going to go down and I'm going to do a curl. I want to see if it's running. That looks like it might be okay. And it works. Right. I just went to the IP address with that port ID and the server is running. That's actually pretty easy. Like, it's very easy. Now I'm going to set up Cloudflare and then show you how to connect to client. So back to terminal. Let's clear this. Now I need to get Cloudflare running. So I'm going to copy in wget GitHub Cloudflare Cloudflared and get this set up. So it's going to download the files so I can connect to the server we've just created. Then I want to move this. So sudo mv to move Cloudflared -linux 64 to, just by doing a space, / user ysr usr local bin Cloudflare. Right, I've just moved that file over. Sudo. I got given shit for saying chmod chmod sudo chmod +x / usr / local bin cloudflared and then cloudflared -version. Lovely. I'm going to go to my browser and you will see I already have an account. Go to Cloudflare, make an account. It's free. And then we're going to be creating a tunnel. I have a domain in here already that I use for these things. So you will need to buy a domain or you can use any domain you own and then just set it up in Cloudflare. Set the DNS records in Cloudflare. I've done dozens of videos on it. You'll find that. So now I need to go back to terminal and I'm going to Cloudflare login. It will give me a one-time use URL to log in with. And I'll put that in it will say, which one do I want to use? I want that one and authorize and that's done. Back to terminal. So I want to create the tunnel using the name that we set up in the YAML file earlier. So that's Cloudflare tunnel create chat-benlab -cc. Okay, we are going to want to keep this ID here. So I'm going to copy that. Copy that, you'll need it. Now, I need to make a directory. mkdir, make directory, /p / Cloudflared. Then I want to write into the file. Okay, so I have saved that UUID. I'm going to copy this. Now I need to set some login details. If you will see, this is the UUID we got before, and we're setting it up. So I'm just adding that file. Okay, now I need to sudo make directory /etc. Oh, /p /etc. Don't get that one confused with ECT. Cloudflared sudo copy / Cloudflared /config.yml to etc Cloudflared /config.yml sudo not chown, as I got told the other day, chown root root /etc cc Cloudflared config.yml and then sudo chmod, giving it permission so it can do things. 600. We'll give that permission to etc Cloudflared config. Now, so we're essentially saying the root, the admin user can read and update that file. So that's what the chmod is, permission. Now with luck, sudo, let's just clear this. Sudo Cloudflared service install. Okay, so now sudo service install. Now we're getting somewhere. Lovely. Sudo system control enable Cloudflare. Okay, just up because I want to start Cloudflared. Now I want to see status. Booyakasha! That seems to be working. And if I go back into my Cloudflare account, we'll see the Cloudflare Tunnel is running. These are good things. These are good things. I can just hit Siege, close that out. Let's give it a clear. I want to set the DNS. So I need to actually get that name working. Cloudflare, please make a tunnel route in the DNS, the domain name services, from chat-benlab.cc, the thing we made up in the YAML file earlier, to actually be chat.benlab.cc. So it's an actual domain name. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, now I think that's going to work. And now if I go to chat.benlab.cc, the domain name works. Tunnel is working. Nice. Last step for our setup. Now we need to make a user. So I need to get into the matrix folder. So cd matrix. Lovely. Then I'm going to do this. Hey, Docker, compose. Can you run an exec function on Synapse? I want you to register a new matrix user -c in data home server YAML. And I want HTTP local host 8008. Hopefully that works. Right. The user will be Benjamin S. Powell. Password will be that. Don't worry. It's in there. I'm just, as you type, you don't see it. And I'll do it again. Make admin. Yeah. Done. So now we're at the good part. That's done. You can make multiple users like that if you want. You would just have to come into Docker, run that command, and add new users as you want. It's a private messaging server. Okay, now we need to interact with it. So Android, Fluffy Chat. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto my Android device. I'm going to open up Fluffy Chat, and then I'm going to sign in with chat.ben.cc. Is the domain that we created. Hit continue. Then it's asking me for my username and a password, which is what we just did. We have chats. So I've just created a group. And you see, we have chats. We have chat. And that's it. So a little bit of toing and froing, but overall it's actually pretty simple. Like I said, you do want to make sure that this is running on something with lots of storage, or that you manage that storage somehow. But there are desktop applications. I believe there is this. It's iOS, Android, Linux, web, lots of options. And if you're federated, then you can connect to other servers. So there you go. That is how you set up and run your own private messaging server.